Good afternoon, everyone. So welcome then for our English time today. So like Misika mentioned before, we're gonna learn about the topics, a new topic, but actually the what is that? Yeah, the same topic like but a different skill for today. So are you ready, guys? Then this one gonna be our topic for today. So today we're gonna learn about writing narrative poem. So before we start, let's we do a prayer first. So who wants to lead the praying time? Raise up your hand. Yes, Manuela.
Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Praying start. Praying finished.
Okay, thank you, Manuela. Next, as usual, we have like meeting rules and procedures. Jessica will memorize you guys about this one. So the first is on the camera, and then this headset. Okay, then. So this one, our attendant list. We're going to check your presence first. So we're going to call your name. If I call your name, you might say yes or present. Okay? Is Arya here?
Yes.
Okay, so before we start, I want to memorize you again about the narrative poems. And its elements. Okay, I'm going to use the Jamboard, so wait a moment. Okay, there you go. Can you see the link, guys, in the chat box? Can you see it? Okay then.
Yes.
So please click the link into the chat box here, and then you guys might share about your understanding about narrative poems that we learned before. You can say the definition of narrative poem, or you can share about the elements that you know in the narrative poem. Okay? Okay, Corey already. Narrative poem is a poem that tells us the story. Okay, thank you, Corey. Emanuela, okay, the elements that I know in the narrative poem is the characters, plot, okay, rhythms, and figures of speech. Okay, thank you, Manuela. Okay, Chia said narrative poem has the title, problem, solutions, plot, setting, and characters. Oh, thank you, Chia. Good. Now, let's continue then. So I guess that the most of you already remember about what is the elements of narrative poem and what is narrative poem. Okay? Next, we're gonna watch the video. Please watch the video carefully because after that, it's going to give you some questions. Are you ready, guys? Yes?
Yeah.
Can you hear the voice of the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What does the video tell you about? Who want to share?
It's about how to narrative poem.
How to write narrative poems. Do you remember the step how to write narrative poems in the video, based on the video before? Also remember?
I think what I heard is just skip the build up, and then the other thing is write it with emotion like that.
Kind of struggle that you find when you start to write a poem. Is that the A, finding the idea, or B, develop the idea into a line or stanza? Which one? Chia said B, Manuela A and B, Chantia B, Kyuka B, Nadia B, Brian A. Most of you think that this is a really difficult, right? This is kind of struggle that you find when you guys start to write. What's actually the idea that you use to write narrative poems, and also how's the idea so you can emphasize, you can compose your poem into a narrative poem. So that's actually okay. Thank you so much, guys, for the response. This is the steps, you guys, the way how to write narrative poems. Who want to help Miss Rika to read this one?
So the beginning of the poem is to introduce your character and create a context for his or her story. The middle of the poem is to the point that what the characters does. You may start to show the problem. The closing of the poem is show how the story ends, with a final impression of your characters.
Okay, thank you, Tia. So the steps to write a narrative poem, the first, of course, you have to choose the theme or the title, right? After that, you choose make the outline as your pre-writing, and then you guys, by considering the poem's elements that you want to use inside of your narrative poems. And after that, you can start to write narrative poems by considering the stanza that you, how many stanza that you want to write. And remember, the poem must consist of the beginning, middle, and closing. In the beginning, what you have to do, you have to introduce your character and what he does. And create a context for his or her story. And in the middle, this is the point that what the characters does. You may start to show the problem then. So what is the problem? Come up in your middle of the poem. And in the closing, you're going to show how the story ends. You can, and also you can create a final impressions about the character. This is gonna be your activity today. Miss Rika give you some illustrations or pictures here. What you have to do, you have to take a look first the pictures here, and then you guys have to write narrative poem based on the pictures given. Miss Rika going to assess to this one in a group activity. Okay, so actually one picture you can emphasize it into one or two lines. That's up to you. Okay. You can create more than one stanza based on the pictures given. And this is the outline that Miss already posted before. So like this one, so we can make in one perceptions about the elements of the story. Okay, like the title is about a little red riding hood, and then the characters you can put like the little girl, mom, grandma, hunter, and the wolf. And then the setting is about the forest and home. And then the problem, what is the problem? The wolf wants to hunt the girl. And then the solutions. The hunter came and saved her life. And then what is about the plot? So this is the plot. The first is the beginning of the poem is the little girl was asked to send the food for her grandma. And then the second one, the wolf saw the little girl in the forest and want to hunt her. And then the last poem is the wolf disguised herself to be her grandma to hunt her, and the hunter came and saved her life. Now, what's the moral value? Don't easily to trust someone. That's gonna be your pre-writing. Then, what you have to do for the next instructions is you have to discuss these illustrations in the break rooms to compose the poems with your group. Later on, after you guys finish, we're going to give you time for 5 minutes. And then after that, in the break rooms, you might start to discuss with your friends based on the illustrations. And you can guys write the poems there. Okay, after that, after the time's up, then you can share the poems. Okay, so one leader maybe can present their poems in the group. You get the point? Now let's start going break the rooms. We're going to set into 3 groups, yeah? So in the group 1, there are Chantia, Chia. So in the group 1, there are Adriel, Chantia, Chia, Nadia, Rain, and Tura. And then in the group 2, there are Ayana, Cory, Yuka, Reinhardt. So are you ready, guys? Miss going to give you a time, 5 minutes to discuss and then to compose your narrative poems based on the pictures given. Did you get the point? All of you? Before we start? Yes or no?
I get.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you ready, guys? Okay, Miss will give you time 5 minutes to discuss with your group, okay? Okay, let's discuss it then together. Yeah, we're gonna use a Jamboard then. Okay, you want to tell then the story, Chia, based on the illustration here? You can just retell to your friends.
Okay.
Okay then.
There was a girl that lived with her mom in a nearby village, wearing a red hood everywhere she goes. She was asked to visit her grandma in a nearby forest. She went into a dark deep forest. In the middle of her adventure, she met a lovely friend. They asked, what would a little girl be doing here? The Red Riding Hood said, oh, I'm going to visit my grandma. She tells them all the information. They ran fast without saying bye. The Red Riding Hood continued her journey. She finally arrived to visit her grandma and give her some baked goods. She went in, but her grandma doesn't look like she normally does. But Red Riding Hood just ignored and said, "Grandma, I got some food for you." She asked her grandma a couple questions. Her grandma suddenly opened her mouth and put her mouth in the Red Riding Hood's head. A hunter came bursting in when he heard a loud scream. So he saved the Red Riding Hood and her grandma, and the wolf was captured by the hunter. The Red Riding Hood learned her lesson. That's it, thank you.
How about the others? Who wants to give Miss Rika example?
Miss already put it.
Okay then. Okay, there was a little girl that lived in the little village. She wore a red hood everywhere she goes, so people call her by Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mom asked her to visit her grandma and give some food. Okay, who wanna do for the third picture? Manuela for the third picture. Okay, how about the fourth picture? Bianca, you want to help Miss Rika?
Sure, Miss, but can you paste the link of the Jamboard again?
Okay, because you missed before. Okay then, sorry, yes. Sorry, Bianca. And then when she arrived to her grandma's house, she was really excited because she does not this. Who want to help Miss Rika for number E? Actually, the pictures make you guys easier to compose the writing, guys. For the writing a narrative. Then what is the last? Okay, the last stanza then. The wolf suddenly opened his mouth, and then the Red Riding Hood was scared to scream. Okay, because we have five pictures in here, so this is gonna be one stanza that you created before, and also we can conclude that there are five stanza in here, guys, because you actually that's more than I expected before. You guys write a lot about this one. Okay then, so let's do the review time because it's already time 2 more minutes. So guys, let's share about what have you learned before. Who want to share? Who's that? Arya. Okay, Arya, what?
Okay, so what I learned today is how to make narrative poem, and then how to do narrative poem, and then before that is the break thingy that we discussed about to do the narrative poem. And
Okay then, the next, what is the most challenging then in this topic? What the things that you guys need to, these are like difficult, this is challenge for you. Yes, who want to share? Chia, yes Chia, go ahead Chia.
For today, the most challenging one is probably when we got split up into the groups.
Actually, because you guys work in group and you have to share your ideas. What is the first pictures about, and you can share just in one line actually for one pictures, right? Last one, what are the things that you need to improve? Who want to share? Manuela, yes please, Manuela.
Maybe I have 2 things I need to improve. The first one is maybe when in the breakout room, maybe start earlier so we can like what's that? So the poem will be finished easier.
then what I need to improve more is more active when talking, and then like ask question, like the answering question. And then in the Jamboard, I need to do more active when doing the thingy, because before I stuck when I want to answer something.
How about the others? Did you understand, guys, about the way how to develop the writing process actually into a narrative poem? The first, you have to make a pre-writing, like you guys have to make the outline first. You can. Any questions? No? Okay, if there is no question, so let's close then our live meeting today. So before we close, let's end with a praying time. So who wants to lead the praying time?
Okay, is everybody ready?
Okay then.
Close your eyes, praying start. Praying finish.
Okay then, thank you so much today guys. You guys are on the third meeting. Bye-bye.